I am going to give a quick and brief explanation about the topics from here and so on. So the first topic where I'm going to talk about is the Sustainable Development Goals known as SDG. So the Sustainable Development Goals known as SDG refers to a set of 17 global goals established by the United Nations in the 2015 as part of the 2023 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The SDG aims to break key dimensions of sustainable development, which are economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. The concept of this is to be built upon the principle of leaving no one behind, which emphasizes the equality and inclusivity in the development. So next topic that I will be talking about is climate action, or known as climate change. So climate change is primarily driven by human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes, in which increases the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. For example, the global temperatures are rising, leading to severe consequences like rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and disruption to ecosystem. Because of events like this, it would cause endangerment to animals, ecosystems, and as well as us human beings. Last but not least, we have problem statements in Malaysia, where Malaysia has significant challenges in formulating in its climate change response, as well as Malaysia has a largely capped population safe from consequences of natural disasters over the last 2 decades. However, the area concern of Malaysia would be carbon dioxide. For example, the carbon sorry for example, the high carbon emissions and energy dependency. Because of this, it would cause endangerment towards humans, ecosystems, and many more.
So, for my part is sustainable development challenges. The first challenges is governance and policy barrier, where they face the challenge to balance the urgent development. Like example, they want to reduce the poverty. Also, at the same time, they will face a difficulties to implement the policies because they didn't have any enough information on how to implement the policies plan. And maybe because of the policies plan are inconsistent or only written on a paper, but the reality is government didn't take the matter seriously and they focus more on a political matter because the most important things are for them to gain the benefit, the political benefit, while in politics other than focus more on the environment problem. So, for the second challenges is rising emission. One of the main reasons of the rising emission is because of the illegal felling trees. And in Malaysia, there are a lot of tall buildings rather than the trees because the illegal bodies already cut down all the trees for them to make a new buildings. Like example, shopping mall, school, or any buildings that are unnecessary. So, when they make all these buildings, they didn't think about the environment and what will happen in the future. And because of this, it will cause an effect to the some of the supply. Like example, food, public health, and also water. The last challenges is financing and resources. In these challenges, they will face inadequate funding where they didn't have any budget to support the infrastructure and will lead to the weak implementation. The government didn't have enough budget for them to support or continue the energy project, and in the end the project will abandon just like that. And also they will face a difficulties to prepare the proposal that meet the international funds requirements. So which means that the government have to make sure that all the requirements that need by the international funds are enough for the government to convince the international funds to give them the additional budget so they can continue all the project that stopped a while ago. The example of the issue that happened in Malaysia is increasing the frequency of floodings and also typhoons in urban areas, such as flash floods and intense rainfall, as well as pollution. One of the main reasons that this happened because of the drains, clogged drains, and other than that, because of the intense rainfall, the food and water supply will also be contaminated.
My name is Shartini binti Saidi and my metric number is 2024912845. Moving on to the Strategic Action Plan for SDG 13, which is Malaysia Jompac. So this program is led by WWF Malaysia. I'm going to give a brief background information about this NGO. WWF Malaysia was established in 1972 and is part of WWF, which stands for Worldwide Fund for Nature, and they are an international conservation organization that responsibility is to sustain the natural world for the benefit of people and wildlife. So the program that I'm going to talk about today is the Malaysia Job Pack. This program is a nationwide youth-led campaign launched by WWF Malaysia and is financially supported by Yayasan Hasanah to stop single-use plastic pollution through policy change and community action. And the goal of this program is to train youth or students to reduce single-use plastic across the Malaysian communities. But how will they achieve these goals? So to achieve this goal, the program combines online learning with hands-on field activities. Participants first learn the theory through workshops and training sessions, then apply their knowledge to real environment projects and community engagement activities. This can be seen in one of the activities, which is the Youth Advocacy Workshop. Here, participants attend masterclasses and training sessions to learn skills such as online campaigning, fundraising, leadership, and project management. These skills help them plan and carry out environmental initiatives more effectively while building confidence as future leaders. Another activity is the Plastic Policy Law Labs. In these workshops, participants learn about environmental laws, policy related to plastic waste. They discuss current issues and work together to prepare youth position paper that contain recommendations for improving plastic-related policies in Malaysia. This gives youth the opportunity to contribute their ideas to environmental decision-making. The program also includes field programs, or also known as Turun Padang, where the participant will visit recycling centers, environmental facilities, and local communities to see how waste management works in real life. They may also observe environmental technologies such as river cleaning, machines, and meet local council to understand how environmental management is carried out at community level. This experience helps participants connect classroom knowledge with real-world challenges. For the stakeholders that are involved in Jompac, we have WWF Malaysia, which is the main organizer responsible for planning, coordinating, and implementing the program. Next, we have Malaysian youth, which is the students who acts as change makers by leading sustainability projects and awareness campaigns. We also have MBPJ or Petaling Jaya City Council, which works together with WWF Malaysia to develop and implement plastic reduction strategies. The Ministry of Finance is involved by providing funding and policy support for the program. Next, the Ministry of Communication, represented by Fahmi Fazil, supports the program through advocacy efforts and officiated the launch of Jompac. Besides that, NRES, which is the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability, reviews policy proposals developed by youth participants through the Plastic Policy Law Lab. Yayasan Hasanah is another important stakeholder as it provides financial support and partners with WWF Malaysia in implementing the program. The Science Center for Planetary Health contributes expert knowledge on the impact of environmental pollution on public health. Lastly, local communities play an important role by participating in cleanup activities and awareness campaigns, especially in pollution hotspots areas such as Lembah Pantai. Moving on, for leadership roles, the programs is led by senior management of WWF Malaysia, so Pia Lim and Dr. Henry Chan. They set the direction of the program, build partnership, and work with policymakers and local councils to run the environmental projects. The Jompac project team handled daily works like running workshops, managing activities, guiding youth, and tracking project progress. Local council, government agencies, and environmental experts that are involved in this program is in charge of supporting the program by giving advice, approvals, and making sure project match local policies. Next is autonomy mechanism. Autonomy meaning youth are given freedom to lead. Youth also design their own environmental project based on community problems. WWF only guides and support them. They also join co-design sessions with councils and NGOs involved to plan solutions together. Some teams get seed funding to run their projects and manage their own budget and activities. Training sessions help them learn skills like leadership, fundraising, and project management. Lastly, for accountability, the program follows WWF ethical rules and policies. WWF Malaysia also publish annual reports to show what they have done and how money is used. These help people to see where the funds go. They also have a whistleblowing system, which means anyone can safely report if there is any misconduct or wrong behavior without fear.
Moving to the strength of the WWF Malaysia. One of its main advantages is its proven impact in environment and conservation. WWF Malaysia has played an important role in protecting endangered species such as the Malayan tiger and Borneo pygmy elephant, while also promoting sustainable environment and practice. Besides that, WWF Malaysia is supported by a strong global network. As a part of an international organization, it has access to worldwide expertise, scientific research, and funding resources, which strengthen its conservation effort in Malaysia. Another strength is its support for local and indigenous communities. WWF Malaysia creates employment opportunities and involves these communities in conservation programs, allowing them to benefit economically while helping to protect natural resources. However, WWF Malaysia also faces several challenges. One limitation is that it does not have legal enforcement authority. Although it conducts research, advocacy, and training programs, it cannot directly stop illegal activities such as poaching or illegal logging. In addition, as a large international NGO, some decision and project approvals may take longer due to administrative procedures, which can affect to the speed of implementation. Lastly, WWF Malaysia faces difficulties in changing public behavior, especially when encouraging people to reduce the use of single-use plastic. Since many individuals are accustomed to these practices, achieving long-term behavioral change requires continuous education and awareness. Overall, while WWF Malaysia has made significant contribution to conservation, it still faces challenges in enforcement, operational efficiency, and public participation.
And in conclusion, the SDG serves as a vital United Nations framework. Climate change is driven by human activities, which resulted in many events that causes harm towards these systems, and ultimately, Malaysia's path to achieve this depends on moving beyond promises. Thank you.